Alright, you guys, I am back again. So my videos have been sparse. I really have been fighting this damn cold. But we're back with Leadhead. And I've been doing a lot of diving. There's a couple more people I also want to look into. This whole subside of the trans community on YouTube, you guys, is insane. It's absolutely ridiculous. And yes, I know the goals have been like boring as F for me right now. So I'm like, I need something else to sink my teeth into. The Creep Keeper has been boring me. So you know, this channel is a mixed bag after all. So now we're gonna go back to Leadhead and let's get into it.
At some point in the last few years, there was this little shift, especially in the queer community, where suddenly you couldn't go 5 minutes on social media without finding somebody calling themselves a puppy girl. A lot of the time, it's just a label attached to a subgroup of kinky people, girls who like to be put in cages or yanked around on a leash, or, in more safer work circles, cosplayers who want to show off a new weighted tail that they made for their next convention, or furry.
Okay, so since I went to the dark side of the moon, I've been hearing a lot about the cage play where somebody pretends they're a dog and they buy each other cages and they put each other in cages. Lord, can you imagine allowing somebody to stick you in a cage and locking you in it? No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not putting that much trust in somebody else. Another one is furries. Furries are every single sexual orientation has their kinks. It's not just specifically to the trans community. I'm just talking about this because Led had brought it up here. And yeah, the furries. I'm still trying to understand the whole furry thing. Like, I'm seriously, if anybody knows about the whole furry thing, let me know because I'm still trying to understand it.
Who have a whole separate persona as a cartoon dog. Then, somewhere in the mix, there are a lot of people who just want somebody to stroke their hair. In the interest of making sure that nobody can ever predict what my next video is going to be about, that last group is the one that I'm going to be focusing on today. These puppy girls are cultivating a fine balance between self-expression and full-blown dissociation, and I think that it's an incredibly interesting conversation. Turns out, there's a lot more to this whole animal person thing than just a simple kink or a fandom. They're called therians, people who found a distinct sense of identity from adopting certain traits from animals. In the same way that some people whom, like myself, are attracted to both men and women but still find that the label lesbian fits them the best, therians have found that even without a tail or paw pads or a flat nose, ascribing the traits of particular animals to themselves can be a quick and easy shorthand for the personality traits that they want to accentuate, and thusly being referred to as that animal is a surefire way to have those traits reaffirmed. It's no secret that I fall into this category. So, as
Listen, I am not kink shaming. Okay, so we're learning about these. Okay. Alright, so we're learning about these disassociation, playtime kinks, whatever. Alright. Let's continue. I told you guys I fell down the rabbit hole. Now I must understand everything.
an example, when my girlfriend calls me a good puppy, she isn't just saying, oh, you're cute and small. She's saying that I'm excitable, affectionate, loyal, attention-seeking, curious, and just an overall good companion. It's her saying that she sees me as the type of person to run into a burning building for her. By extension, these same sentiments can be channeled into physical sensations by way of head pats and tummy rubs and the like. Her and I have this little thing where, if we're holding hands, 3 squeezes translates to, I love you. And in the same way, her scratching my head essentially translates to, you're super loyal and attentive. I know that all of this sounds incredibly silly, but subconsciously attaching this extra layer of positive reinforcement to a sensation that already feels super nice, like having your hair played with, is an incredibly interesting and potent way of communicating love, if that's the type of dynamic that you share with somebody. In fact, it can be a little bit addictive. See, while there's a lot of positivity wrapped up in this whole dynamic for me, and a ton of other people like me, there are also some potential pitfalls, aspects of this way of self-identifying that can absolutely get in the way of living a fulfilling life. I'm a lot more afraid of fireworks now than I used to be.
You see what I mean? Am I losing my mind? So you like to pretend to be a dog. Now you've taken on the persona of a dog. Now you're afraid of fireworks. Guys, help me out here. Help me out here. Is this a thing? Is this for real? I mean, I guess it is because we're going to be getting back into Pappy and Zena. I know I did 2 videos introducing them, but guys, there's a mess over there. It's a mess over there. We're going to be getting into them. They're also into this whole furry thing. It's fascinating, really. But okay, now we're afraid of fireworks. Got it.
However, before we get into the danger of puppy girls and the fall of the West and all of that fun stuff, let's talk about how I transformed into this crude mockery of nature's perfection that you see before you today. A bit over a year ago, my girlfriend moved in with me. On that first night, as she was unpacking her bags and showing me all the mementos that she'd brought with her, she pulled out this little necklace with a puppy tag on it. Her ex had given it to her because Puppy was one of his favorite nicknames for her. I immediately put it on because I thought it was cute, and before I knew it, Puppy had become her nickname for me as well. Some people call their partner Princess or Baby Doll, Sweetie. Well, for me it was Puppy, and at the time, that's all that there was to it. Since then, I first developed a taste for tummy rubs. Then, I started to prefer my french fries hand-fed. Then I started leaning more on body language and sounds rather than actual language when it came to communicating my physical desires.
Alright, listen up. Some of you guys in the audience have to be furries, right? You guys gotta fill me in on this. I don't understand this whole thing. I don't understand this kink. I understand some kinks, but this one I'm really, really not understanding. I'm willing to learn. I have an open mind. Somebody fill me in.
Whatever, this is all just cute stuff. But at some point along the way, it became easier for me to tune out the conversations of the people around me, and instead pay a disproportionate amount of attention to the squirrels and the chipmunks in the yard. I promise I'm still not joking. I started feeling like actual pride in being able to follow incredibly simple commands. I don't mean that I was being facetiously prideful in order to go along with the bit or make myself look cute. I mean that I started to equate that feeling with me being enough. Like, oh, I put my hand on theirs when they said paw to me. That means I didn't disappoint them, and I'm a worthwhile person. I'm proud of that fact. At the worst of times, this whole mindset has made me a little bit worse at saying no in situations where I wish that I had. I'm just endlessly afraid of disappointing people. The fact that this is all, again, a sense of actual pride and not just myself going along with a bit is concerning. I've done a lot of things that I can be proud of in life. I turned my own imagination, creativity, and motivation into a career that's able to keep myself and the people I care about safe most of the time, at least. I've run this channel for nearly 6 years without ever running out of ideas for longer than a month or two, all while...
Oh, yes. Thank you for the reminder. Led had started the channel as a gamer, and they did a lot of content on different games and gaming, and I'm not going to be covering that era. I'm really not into video games like that. You know what I mean? If you want to look at that content, I can link their channel. But yeah, I'm really not into that content like that. But what I'm interested in is going back, I guess it'd be like 4 years, 2 or 3, 4 years, when they decided to transition. That's where I'll be going back to going forward. But I just wanted to put this out there.
While steadily upping my production skills and, in my opinion, my writing skills. Unless, of course, you count up puppy girl videos running out of ideas. I've gone through an absolutely insane amount of personal growth in that same time. I grow into a better and more mature person with each year. I've held my own in a nearly lifelong battle with chronic anxiety and a near decade-long battle with the absolutely crippling long-term effects of a heat stroke, which, to dumb it down to the scope of this video, really messed me up neurologically. I've survived and thrived in spite of so much, and yet, in a certain type of situation, I take more pride in finding my girlfriend's shoes for her than I do in any of that stuff. So, I pay rent. I have 2 to 3 jobs, depending on how you look at it. I've got to buy groceries and manage finances and keep up with all sorts of other responsibilities. That's nothing special, just about everybody deals with this stuff. But it seems pretty clear to me that all of this puppy business also serves as a vector for dissociation. If I can make myself feel like such a simple creature that being able to shake on command is an accomplishment worthy of pride, then suddenly all the bills and finances and jobs feel like they're a million miles away. Suddenly, I'm too simple of a creature to have anxiety attacks. It's therapeutic at times. Everybody needs a means of escapism, but it's incredibly easy for me to get too comfortable in the dissociation. I get complacent, and my priorities shift from be a good partner, be a good friend, pursue my creative goals and make money, straight to frolic, make silly noises, and eat food. As I said, this whole thing can make it a little bit difficult to stay motivated. It's just hard to get out of bed when somebody's cuddling you, and that's all there is to it, really. But there are times when I'm just out of it. I've had a
You guys, I'm starting to think that we're doing it all wrong. Maybe we should partake in this whole disassociation thing that everybody's doing. Maybe that's why we're doing it wrong. We all need to start disassociating. That's what I'm getting to. That is where I am getting to. We need to use more of our creative juices in life. A lot more. I guess we gotta pretend to be puppies now. I don't know. Like, we need to try it. It seems to be working for them. Shit. Maybe we all need to start doing that.
horrible day. I've got $5 in the bank and 2 little gas in my car to go door dashing for more. On days like that, I just curl up next to my girlfriend and she gives me some attention. Each stroke against my hair affirms to me that I'm good enough. It's a type of peace that I don't think I've ever been able to achieve outside of that context. It makes me feel safe. It makes me feel like my problems can be compartmentalized. Put simply, it helps with the anxiety attacks. That right there is why I wear this collar on a daily basis. It's just that slight buffer that I need to make it through the toughest of times. It's a mental doghouse that I can retreat to when I feel overwhelmed and need to remember that there will be peace at the end of this day if I can just hold out for a little bit longer. That's
Oh, and the other thing, when I go back to the other videos and start going like back into like in order, when they start transitioning, I am hoping that I run more into the videos where they talk about their roommates and they refer them as their kids. Those are my favorite stories. I love those stories. It's like, no, those are your roommates and not your kids, but those stories, they crack me up. They make me smile. So hopefully we run a lot more into those videos.
what's so fascinating about this whole puppy girl thing to me. That's what made it an interesting enough topic to make this video worthwhile. This particular type of self-expression can, paradoxically, turn into dissociation incredibly quickly. The two things seem like they would be polar opposites, but in this case, they're completely entangled. I am affectionate, loyal, attention-seeking, curious, and attentive. Those are all positive traits of mine that require zero responsibility on my part. But I'm also independent, ambitious, creative. I'm good at breaking down complicated tasks and admitting when I made a mistake. Those are also positive traits, but maintaining those traits requires a lot of responsibility. And conveniently, all of the positive traits that are accentuated by me barking at people are the ones that I can just sort of passively claim. And all those other traits that elevate me from being a good companion to being a good person also represent the responsibilities that I dissociate from by barking at people. It doesn't feel like it takes any work to be a good puppy, but it takes a lot of work to be a good person, sometimes at least, even if it's work that I'm totally capable of. It's like when I get home from work and take my hat off and put my collar on, I'm saying, all right, I'm done putting effort into my life. Time to curl up at the foot of the bed.
Um, I'm sorry. Come again. You do what? So we get home, we put on a collar and curl at the bottom of the bed. Oh boy. Okay.
However, in all 2 or 3 of my jobs, depending on how you look at it, I make my own hours. YouTube, DoorDash, and the third thing, I get to pick when I work and when I don't. And so it sometimes takes a lot of determination and focus to stop myself from being a puppy when I need to be a human.
So what the hell is the third thing? She keeps on referring to the third thing, but she never mentions the third thing. Now I must know. What the hell is the third thing? And you guys, I did go through the whole video. The whole video is like 40 minutes long. They never mentioned the third thing at all. At all. I just took the parts that I thought they would be more interesting for the video. No mention of the third thing. Just gets referred to as the third thing.
It just makes it hard to get shit done when I get too comfortable. And in a few cases, being a good puppy has gotten in the way of being a good person. This has to do with the whole wanting to please people making it difficult for me to say no thing that I mentioned earlier. There was an instance where I didn't say no, when I really should have. And while I've spent a lot of time thinking about that mistake since then, there was this one pivotal moment that turned out to be completely definitive in both my moral recovery from that mistake and my character development as a puppy girl. My girlfriend was sitting alone with me, talking about everything that had happened, and she said the sentence that I'd been wanting her to say for so long. I know you're puppy-brained, but you still know right from wrong. Like I said, I'd been waiting to hear her say that ever since the moment that I first made that mistake and failed to say no. It made me feel a lot better, like she kind of understood how I wound up in that position, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized the irony in the whole thing. My girlfriend was the one who got me wrapped up in the puppy girl thing. She's the one whose head pats made me realize that this whole thing was something that my psyche could benefit from. But by saying, I know you're puppy brained, but you still know right from wrong, she was calling me out. I leaned way too hard into my dissociation, and I made myself too easy to manipulate. I made myself too capable of saying, it's not my fault, that's just how the animal kingdom is. Sure, I'm generalizing. It's not like I didn't realize that I made that mistake or didn't think it was my fault. It's not even like I didn't own up to the mistakes. But what the puppy brain side of me did do was make it easy for me to stagnate. It made it easy for me to feel like I didn't need to develop my character anymore, when that's never been the case for anybody. Personal growth is what makes our sentience a superpower, and my theory and bullshit was getting in the way of my personal growth for a while. When she said, I know you're puppy brain, but you still know right from wrong, that was her challenging me to be better, to not let myself stagnate, to not allow myself to get lost in my dissociations. She wanted me to remember that while she'll always be there to stroke my hair and say that she's proud of me, ultimately it's on me to make sure that I continue in my personal growth. Nowadays, I feel like I've almost completely rid myself of all of that hesitance in personal growth. I feel like for all my flaws and all the things that I need to work on, I've gotten to the point where I'm able to be a responsible, penitent human when I need to be, and a carefree puppy when I'm able to. I'll never be able to say I'm done growing as a person, but now I'm at least able to progress again.
I have to say, as much as insane as some of these stories are, I do enjoy her voice. I enjoy her style of storytelling. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that.
My development has resumed. It's something that takes constant effort because the mental doghouse is an extremely comfortable place, but so long as I can maintain that effort and keep myself in check, I'll only ever be in that mental doghouse when I don't have anywhere else that I need to be. So, to my girlfriend, and to anyone else who might be watching this, I'd just like to say two things. Firstly, and secondly, and more importantly, thank you for giving me the opportunity to grow and to be a better person. I promise that I won't waste it. I'm gonna make you all proud.
So, yeah, with that being said, that's the story of a puppy girl. Okay. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was interesting. It was different. But yeah, I will be trying to upload a lot more. I'm feeling a little bit better as each day goes by, getting a little bit better. But yeah, you guys, more uploads. I will see you in the next video. Later, later. Bye bye.